machine, but at least I had her name, her phone number in my database, and so I could kind of take it a little bit and make a phone call and break the ice, get a foot in the door. So, you know, any contacts you make, keep them organized so that, you know, you never know. So, you haven't said much from the back row. I know that you've been absorbing everything and you just have huge amounts to say. Okay, very good. I don't want to pick on you. This row, you haven't said much. Anything?
Well, I've liked a lot of what I've heard. I'm more optimistic about jobs, and I totally believe in networking. I sending anything online. I do that, but I've actually stopped since I've been in school sending because it's just I want to meet people. I think even just going to companies and making relationships with the secretaries and the people and the personnel, you know, anybody that would know or be somebody, and you start going there like every week or, you know, once a month and just checking in, and you'll start finding out stuff. I think that's how to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
One
all
way of
kinds of
doing it.
strategies like that.
But that's-
My father-in-law is a retired newspaper pressman. Outside the door of the newspaper place is a bar. The bar was called the press room. So that when the wives call the printing or the paper, hey, where's your husband? Oh, he's down in the press room. But if you went to that bar and started hanging around, you might get to know somebody if you were interested in that kind of job. You know, oh yeah, okay, of course, maybe you'd be drinking too much, but.
Technical groups, I think, are also another great way. It's another avenue.
Yeah.
And I know Janice has been newly working with the Women in Computing
Association for Women in Computing. On LinkedIn,
Mhm.
I saw that they were looking for new board members for the year in August or something, and I saw them. They said, "Oh, they're looking for a webmaster." They called me webmistress, and I didn't put that on my resume. And somebody said you better not put that on there. So now I say web manager. Okay.
There you go.
So web manager. I'm the web manager and a board member for the Association for Women in Computing. It's a national organization, nonprofit, and they have a Puget Sound chapter, and they meet down in Seattle, kind of for the whole area. And there's women from all different IT type companies in the area, and I learned different interesting things. And we have had meetings at Mercer Island Community Center. Every month there's a meeting, like third Wednesday of the night, and they're on LinkedIn and all, and so I'm managing their website, putting on the new events, and I got to put together the food and present the speaker. We had a great guy, Hines Marketing, and this fellow named Matt Hines, and he has great marketing tools, and he shares things, and he came and talked to the
And can anyone come to those meetings?
and you can come to the meetings, anyone can come, and there's actually a student, you can join as a
Couple more
student.
inches and I can match.
Yeah, there are women there are women and men there.
Yes.
Because there's a man on our board that's actually Ralph Smith, I don't know, he took some classes here, he's in Cascadia, I know. And, but he's doing the membership area, but it's a great group, and they have meetings every month, and I'm learning lots of things, and I said, hey, you know, I'm looking on my own and not finding a job, this is a way to meet people, and I'm excited for December, because one of the past board members used to work in Columbia Tower. We get to have our Christmas party on the top floor of the Columbia Tower. On
Great
December
view from
7th.
up there.
So yeah, I've always wanted to go there, so I'm so excited to get to go to the top floor of the Columbia Tower on December 7th for the Christmas
I
party.
wanted to have Michael also talk about the Linux technical group, user group.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, the Linux Fest Northwest will be coming up this year, well, actually next year, April 28th and 29th in Bellingham, at the Bellingham Community College. we want to take as many people as we can up there this year for a weekend. We'll spend Friday night, Saturday night in a hotel in Bellingham, and we'll have our food paid for and travel up there and back paid for. Entrance to the event is free. It's a public event, so if you're not able to go with us because you graduated by then or something, or you're not a registered student at the time, you can go on your own. But which what I'll be doing for myself, because I won't be a student by then, hopefully.
But you've also been-
Hopefully I'll be out of here by then.
We'll keep you around. And you've also got some jobs through the users, the regular user group meetings for Linux, the Linux user group, right? The one with recently with the sign language one, wasn't that linked through a user group meeting?
Oh, the internship that I just got with a company called Time to Offer was, wait, no, that was from internships.com. Great site. If you're not registered, get there. Internships.com. That's where I found one of my internships from. My Joomla users group that I meet on, I run that community Joomla users group meeting. It's where I met Craig.
That's where I came here,
Right.
for that.
And there we talk about all things related to Joomla, which is an open source content management system for managing interactive websites. Janice can speak on this a little bit. She's done some Joomla websites before.
Yeah, we worked with Redmond Historical Society. Brian and I did internships with them last fall. But it's a whole thing to learn about, Joomla and how it works. And we did the photo gallery for them, and then pictures of the historical sites for Redmond. And then a membership database, we fixed that all up, So it's just fun getting involved with community and groups. And this next year is the centennial. And I'm going to go be the membership chair for the Redmond Historical Society and help get more members for their organization too, and just get involved with community things. So.
Yeah. Well, again, what she's saying is something that's recommended for all of you in some way, shape, or form. You may have time constraints or all kinds of other constraints, but if and where you can, there is a huge value to doing this on a very personal level. Again, I went to the Joomla group in Bellevue who said, oh, well, they got this one in Bothell. So, okay, well, the Bothell one's closer to my house. I went over there, met him. He's been real helpful on some things that I've worked with. I've shared some things with Michael that have been helpful. And again, it's a very worthwhile expenditure of your time in these arenas, and most particularly in finding a job.
Yeah, the gal I'm meeting with this afternoon, she's Christine Himes, and she used to be the mayor of Redmond. And so she knows us real well, and so she knows lots of people. And so maybe that'll help out with our photography
Looks good with
business.
your resume too. It shows you've actually been doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a list. I've got 5 or 6 things on my resume now since I've been,
We're also members of meetup groups,
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop users group. I
Mhm.
mean, there's so many different groups. You have to join, because not only that, you can learn from. It's free training too. There's a lot of free meetings, and they have speakers like you on every one that shows you how to. We went to a Photoshop. He was showing us secrets,
yeah.
and he actually wasn't he.
He teaches the community college, the one at the evenings, the continuing education.
Oh,
He was actually the teacher, and he was the speaker there.
He's from Mexico, forget his last name, but he teaches Photoshop, like Cascadia evening
Yeah.
continuing
Oh, Trey
education.
Lane? One.
One.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
one.
another thing too, and you had mentioned it, putting on your resume, showing that you're doing something. A friend of mine has wanted to be a teacher for a long time. I've never seen anybody work so hard at looking for a job, to be honest. I was so impressed by he would not give up. And he tried at every online school, and then, I mentioned, have you done networking? Have you, found other ways? And he joined a professional group, and at the first meeting, there was somebody there from City U. It's not the ideal school that he wanted to, but Paul Porter is teaching a class and at least has got his foot in the door, so now on his resume, when he'd like to be at a community college somewhere locally, but, he got that from volunteering at a professional group and running into somebody. I mean, that's just, you can't overdo that. Yeah, really important.
We have the world's perfect food, as you mentioned, out there. And there are some other perfect foods over here as well. We'll ship those out into the hall because there's a little more room for people to gather around. Please continue networking. Again, I'd encourage you to introduce yourself to someone you don't know so that you make one more connection today. Certainly introduce yourself to Craig to make that connection. And enjoy the food. Let's thank Craig
My email address is on the bottom of that paper. So, if you want it in electronic form as opposed to ink or laser on paper, I'd be happy to send it to you.
I did that for 2 years.
Very nice.
Yeah, I got web application programming manager.
Thank you.
Stay out there on 6 feet for I'm taking the web foundations here.
Yes.
Great.
I'll give you the.
Oh, yeah, anytime you can get more